Okay, the first thing that I like to do when I'm doing this is to take some painter's tape and tie down all the different parts that I'm going to be cutting out. And on this particular model, which I've already done, but I'm cutting out another set of pieces for a friend of mine who wants me to build the Aviron Delta wing that I flew. So we're going to cut this out, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the mat cutter instead of using the old traditional way where you take the ruler and you put it down and you take your knife and you cut it. I discovered this when I was going to build this particular model, and I said to myself, man, I don't feel like cutting all this stuff out. There's got to be an easier way. So that's when I came up with the idea of using the mat cutter. So I'm going to show you how easy it is. And the nice part about it is the edges will be perfectly cut. There is no waving of the knife or anything. Now on the parts where there are curves, then you will have to use a knife, but as far as all these straight edges go, let me show you how easy it is to use a mat cutter to get these perfect outlines of your pieces. Now when you're doing this, one of the things that I've done is I've made this sort of like a little guide. Actually, it's not a guide. What it does is it allows the cutter to run along here so that it remains level. Otherwise, it'll tip over. So you do want to, at least for this board, I made one that was long enough so that I could cut from here all the way to the very end. And you can see I kind of join it together. Make sure that we got a long enough piece to do that. And let me show you what I mean about what it does. The cutting edge has a little groove here, and that groove runs along here. So what we want to do is put it here, then that gives us a piece that we can slide the cutter along. And so what we do is you get a nice little gliding action like this, and that allows this piece right here to keep that level for us. Okay, this is going to be my first cut. Oops, that comes up. Now on this particular cut, because this has enough spare part on it right here, I really don't have to put the my little adapter on there. And basically we just slide that on there and just go like this. Voila, that's cut. Just that easy. Let me show you some more cuts, how easy this is. This is like cutting butter, and that's how I describe this video on doing this. This is so easy. I mean, this is easy as pie. I mean, look at that. That doesn't take a whole lot of time. Now I got to be careful on this because we got a little bit of curve on that, so I'm actually going to stop it right about here. And the nice part about this is there's a little mark that's on the cutter. So I'm going to stop that one right there. I'm just going to show you how fast this is. I mean, this is like what every foam board cutter would love to do. Okay, stop it right there. Put this one right about here. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time to do this, which is something that I like about it. Okay. Now, when you get to the part where it's not really cut all the way through, that's where I take a extra blade and I just kind of run it along here to make sure that the joints meet. And right about there. There you go. Piece cut. I'm telling you, this is what every foam board cutter would love to do. Just do this in record-breaking time. Okay, we're gonna cut. Now here you can see I got a little bit of wobble there, so we can take one of these extra pieces when we get ready to get started, and that will give us an opportunity to make sure that we don't mess up something. And I'm going to stick this right about there. This thing is so precise that it's really a piece of cake. You can see that. I mean, that just, come on now. You can't get it any easier than this when it comes to cutting foam board. Okay, here we're gonna need something. Maybe I'll put my little adapter there. Okay, there we go. I'm telling you, you can't beat this. So that's got pretty much a lot of that cut out. And I'm not gonna do the whole thing so you can take a look at it. I mean, I think you pretty much got the idea that there is no easier way than cutting foam board than like what we're doing right now. This is too easy. Too easy. Okay? Just too easy. This is like too easy. Okay, I'm gonna cut this pretty much out a little bit here. Now, that part actually goes to one of my ailerons, so I'm gonna leave it like it is. And I can actually use the 45 degree on this a little bit later on and cut out a bevel edge for the aileron. So, oops, I shouldn't have done that. By the way, you want to put a little pressure on the guide up here so that it doesn't move. Okay. And where's my razor blade? I come here. Did I cut that? Yeah, I did cut it. Let's not that in there. Make sure you don't have the sharp edge towards you because that can hurt. Oh, I see. I didn't cut this edge. Or did I? No, I didn't. I don't see anything there. That's not going to work. Okay. I think it's cut, but it's not. I'm going to cut that this way, that way I don't cut into, oh, we're going to do something here. I'm going to cut it wrong. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. Now we can take that out of there. But anyway, you get the idea. This is my fast way of cutting foam board, and I think anybody that does a lot of foam board cutting will definitely want to invest in a mat cutter. I got to admit, these things are not cheap, but you know, it's just like a screwdriver. You buy it once, you'll be using it over a lifetime. So that's my whole idea behind this. Okay, and that's the whole idea. Okay, there you go. Willie Hill special on foam board cutting like a butter knife with a mat cutter. A little bit later on, I'll show you all the pieces that I cut out, and it won't take me very long to do this. Okay, you can see from the cutout that I have here that even intricate cuts like this with multiple angles, you can still use the mat cutter to do it. Does a great job of it. And that's why I think this is such a great technique for cutting out foam board. And one of the reasons that it is because on the cutter itself you can see these marks. That'll give you an idea where to start and where to stop, so it works really, really well. Okay, the final thing I want to show you is the bevel cutter. And basically it has a slight 45 degree angle, so anytime I need to make that kind of a cut, like if I'm going to use it for the hinges on the elevators or ailerons, this is the deal. So all I got to do right now is just run this right along there, and that's going to leave me a little edge. And normally what I do is I take the razor blade, because sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through, but you do have that little space right here, as you can see right here. And then I just run this right along there, and I'm going to show you a perfectly 45-degree angle cut that can be used for ailerons and everything else. There it is. I mean, you can't beat that. Come on now, come on. And so basically you got your 45-degree angle perfectly cut. Okay, here's a look at the underside of the 45-degree angle cutter. You can see that once you push that down, the blade comes down and it starts cutting that 45-degree angle.